What's up, my K says he is. It's your girl K says the Oracle back in the building with another banger. Guys, listen, I'm gonna be dropping bombs tonight, so get ready. This is about to be a really good show. Especially if you like something still isn't sitting right with you about this whole little sub, and then like have you also been back intrigued with like the Titanic and everything like that? And if you have, I'm about to connect everything for you and snatch the wig off this shit. You hear me? This is about to be a really fucking good show. Like, I'm excited. I'm fucking excited. Period. This is gonna be really fucking good. I've done a lot of work. Okay. Period. a, a lot of work on researching the connection between this little sub and the Titanic, because like all last night, like I just went into this deep dive. But oh my god, let me not go into my whole rant. Let's go ahead and play the intro so we can get right into it and let all these other people pull in. Period. K says the Oracle back in the building, guys, and we are snatching the wig off. What is the connection between the sub and the Titanic cover up? Guys, this is fucking major. Okay, so listen, my deep dive started last night. My eyes was fucking burning. Like I was supposed to be asleep, but like I couldn't. Like something was like roaring inside of me. So I'm going on like Ocean Gates YouTube channel. I went on their regular YouTube channel was bunk as hell, one shit on there. And then I went on a other one that was like talking about the Titanic and everything like that. Like that's where all their views is at. Okay. So I'm going on there and like I'm trying to understand Stockton. I'm trying to get a vibe for this project. I'm trying to fall in love with what he was seeing, what he was working on, and all these other people and all these other employees. Because guys, this was a mass operation with this little sub to go down to see the Titanic. It was a major thing. It wasn't just like some college students. It was way more. And like anytime like the news attaches us like is attracted to a story and they're putting so much pressure on who and how we should feel about certain people, that's how I knew this shit was some type of psyop. Like they're making us trying to feel a certain way about Ocean Gate and about Stockton, because even I got pulled into it talking about his little sub and everything, because the way it was like, I was haphazardly kind of looking but not wanting to really pay attention truly, because I was like, this is some stupid shit. But no, guys, no, it's way more. We're gonna dig deep tonight. Okay, so basically Ocean Gate, through my research, I feel like is reputable. I do feel like they're reputable, guys. I feel like they're reputable. I do feel like his angle and his approach, the way that the media is attacking it, is for a reason. They're trying to discredit this man for a reason. It's similar to the same attacks how they do Trump and everything like that. I'm going to tell you why. I'm going to tell you why, guys. So I'm going to let a couple more people get up in here. Let me see who put up in your notification van. Give a couple of shouts out, then we're going to hop right into it. Okay, period. So let me see who's in the building. Cody Smith, you first. What's up, girlie? Gang. Where you been? How you doing? How you feeling? How you be? Period. Then we got It's About Me in the building. We got Kanaya in the building. Period. We got Baby Doll Exclusive in the building. Thank you. Just got off of work. Period. What's up, Robin Nolden? What's up, B. Hayward? Thank you for pulling up, guys. So are y'all ready? This is about to get good. And I think something is a little off. Like something is a little off with like the configuration of just how shit going. So I don't know how tonight finna go. I'm gonna have to probably do this a whole nother time, because like they're playing with the live I already see. But anyways, guys, let's deep dive into this first video that sets the tone for everything. What we're about to watch is them explaining, the narrator is explaining how JP Morgan concocted this whole thing, and basically this motherfucker is a mass murderer. Not just him alone, but just like other people. So we got to start with the Titanic first and the cover up of that, and then we'll connect it to the little sub and everything like that, guys. This is going to be major. So if you're wanting to really know What is the, like, how deep does the cover up of the Titanic go? Please tune in right now. I'm about to explain it all in this short little 10-minute video. Tune in right fucking now, okay? Do. Let me see. Let me share my screen. Get it all queued up, guys. Listen, I'm getting a little techie over here. I'm getting real techie, okay? I'm learning my way around. Getting real techie. All right, guys. So if you're ready to watch the video, okay, right, cowboy, got my yeehaw going on. You hear me? Guys, so if you're ready to watch the video, put a 1 in the chat. Are you ready to watch the video? This video is explosive. Tells us everything that we need to know. Okay? Period. Hold on. If I'm in the way, I can't hit the play button. 1 second. Because I'm in the way. Let me put it over there, and then I'm going to make it bigger. All right, guys. Turn your volume up. Here we go. Okay? Turn it up.
In order to create the central bank, certain obstacles had to be overcome. First, those opposed to a central bank would need to be removed. And secondly, the law would need to be changed, or simply appear to be changed. To deal with the troublesome individuals who opposed a central bank, the Jesuits spared no expense. They built a ship of death called the Titanic.
The sinking of the Titanic was the design of the Jesuit order to get rid of the opposition to the creation of a central bank in the United States.
And the men on the Titanic were opposed to a central bank. They had to die. Among those were John Jacob Astor, Isidor Straus, Benjamin Guggenheim, and a host of other millionaires who were opposed to a central bank in America. Therefore, they had to be taken out of the way. And they were on the Titanic.
The company building the ship was owned by J.P. Morgan, who was himself an agent of the Rothschilds family, the Rothschilds being the bankers for the Pope and the Vatican. The main Jesuit targets were brought on board. The captain of the ship was Edward John Smith. It appears from his actions that Captain Smith was a Jesuit coadjutor, that is, a Jesuit who has taken the oath but does not wear the robes. A coadjutor blends into the scenery and never looks like a Jesuit priest. It is a veteran sea captain, Edward Smith, who orders the ship to travel through an 80-square-mile ice field at full speed on a moonless night. There had been over 8 telegrams warning the captain of the danger.
He's warned 8 times, slow the ship down, slow the Titanic down, you're going too fast. Not once stopped. Knew there was an iceberg field up ahead, knew that he should have slowed down, but didn't. And so you look and you say, how was it that this man could go headlong into a field of icebergs and not slow the ship down, not be more careful? The only conclusion you can draw is, as a coadjutor of the Jesuit order, right through the line, the chain of command, he was told, sink the ship.
Period.
And he did. On board the Titanic, and this is all documented in a National Geographic video that was put out in 1986. You can go to your local library, and they'll either have it on hand or they can, get it on library loan. But on that videotape, it shows that as the Titanic was coming up along the coast of England, it had various stops. And at one stop, a Jesuit priest got on board. His name was Francis Brown. Francis Brown got on board the Titanic, took pictures of all of the wealthy people, took pictures of Edward Smith, the captain, and then just before the Titanic set sail across the Atlantic, Francis Brown got off. And then, of course, the Titanic sunk.
Well, Francis Francis Brown is given the camera by his bishop, his uncle. And he is told to go down and take all these pictures of all these people who have been killed in first class. And so that's what he does. He takes pictures of all these rich people, everybody that thinks that the is going to go down. And a rich passenger offers him passage. Well, he knows the ship's going to go down. But he very sheepishly got in contact with his provincial. And the provincial's message was, get off that ship.
Like Brown, another noted passenger, Jesuit agent J.P. Morgan, did not make the ill-fated sea voyage. Even though booked on the ship for passage to America, Morgan also fortuitously canceled at the last minute.
Of course, J.P. Morgan, he had his own suite reserved for him. And there were some 55 men who at the last minute canceled their reservations on the Titanic. J.P. Morgan was one of them. Said he was sick. Oh, by the way, and don't load any of my art treasures on the Titanic either. So he didn't have any of his art treasures.
How do we know there was foul play involved with the Titanic? When the iceberg was sighted, it was First Officer Murdoch who attempted to port around the deadly object. This was sound enough, but Murdoch also ordered the engines into reverse. Arthur Wynne Wade asked the obvious question. As long as Murdoch was trying to veer out of the iceberg's way, why had he jammed on the brakes, so to speak, by throwing the engines full speed astern? In point of fact, the 1910 edition of Knight's Modern Seamanship clearly contradicted Murdoch's decision. The instructions are clear. Avoid reversing the engines. Wade sums up the situation by saying, Murdoch had maneuvered in a manner more likely to cause collisions than to prevent them. As with many who investigated the Titanic disaster, Arthur Wynne Wade was at a loss to explain Murdoch's actions in going against the book. But the captain and Murdoch's actions were not the only telltale signs of treachery on the night the Titanic sank.
We see all sorts of anomalies in the Titanic. For example, when it was sinking, the emergency flares were to be red, so that ships in those lanes could see the Titanic was in trouble. Well, someone had taken away the red flares and replaced them with white flares, making it look like we were shooting off flares and having a party. And then the loading of the boats, we know that was a fraud. They didn't allow the lifeboats to be completely loaded. They were only half loaded, some 1/3 loaded, because the targets in the first class could not be allowed to board. This serves as a warning to all the other men of power, not only in our country, but in England and Europe. You mess with us, and we're going to do to you what we did to all those people on Titanic, and we're going to thwart the investigation, because a subsequent investigation of the sinking of Titanic blamed Bruce Ismay, the right-hand man of J.P. Morgan, and Captain Ward of England. They were the scapegoats, when they could have easily blamed the men of power at that time. Saw who canceled their reservations. It was there was a Warren Commission all over again. 9/11 Commission all over again. It's a whitewash and cover-up. And that cover-up is even more powerful than the murder itself.
After many of the leading opponents to a central bank had been removed, the Jesuits moved to obtain passage of the 16th Amendment and the Federal Reserve Act, both in 1913.
So they created the Federal Reserve Bank to finance their crusades. Without the Federal Reserve Bank, there's no war in Iraq. Without the Federal Reserve Bank, there's no World War II. There's no World War I. And there's a book written by Katz called The Money Changers. And in it, he says that it's the Federal Reserve Bank and the creators of all this paper currency, fiat money, credit out of thin air. Without that, you don't have these wars.
All right, boom, boom, boom. Let me get that out of the way. So, guys, what do you think about that? What do you think about that video? That video said every fucking thing, everything. And they still do everything like this today. All of these, like, you would think, like, damn, all of these people are involved, or they would kill this many people. Death is nothing to them. The Titanic was a mass murder, guys. It was a fucking mass murder. And anybody that comes against them, they'll be like, we could just kill you in public and cover it up and laugh about it. The fuck, like nobody's gonna find out. They do this shit all the time. These celebrities and all type of shit. The psyops, the tragedies, the shit. Like guys, they pull it every fucking time. Okay, they pull it every fucking time. Whew. Every fucking time, guys. Every fucking time they pull this shit. Every fucking time. So let's just break everything down systematically and let's get a little surgical in this bitch, all right? First off, guys, don't forget to support your girl with my hair crystals, okay? I'm going to leave a link in the description box, period. Check those out in my stand store, my Chi Crystal hair pins, all right? Also, don't forget, I've changed some things over there on Patreon, all right? These are my tiers on Patreon. We got 11, 12, 33, 33. Okay, pause your screen so you can understand what I'm offering now over there on Patreon. Okay, also for people that's already on Patreon, understand what you're now getting. Okay, period. Check that out. Also, when you at my stand store, make sure you sign up for my email. My email so you can stay alert to everything that I got going on over here. Sign up for my mailing list on my stand store. It will be available in the description box after the reading, period. Let's hop back into it. So guys, listen. So this is where all the shit starts. This is where the fucking greed begins right here. Let me blow this up. So I don't know if you can see this or not, but I'm going to read it to you. So this is where the greed begins. The British White Star Line, which was owned by fathead J. Pussy Ass Morgan, this motherfucking mass murderer right fucking here, over here, this fat nigga to the right. He owned the White Star Line, okay? He was in stiff competition with England and across the globe. Like they was in some type of like race to build the biggest ship. It said locally it had a fierce rivalry with the Cunard Steamship Company Ltd, which in 1906 and 1907 had sent on its maiden voyage the world's then largest passenger ships, the Lunastania and the Mauretania, okay? So there was two rival companies. There was the Cunard Steam, and then there was the British White Star Line, okay? So the British White Star Line is going to be soon owned by J.P. Morgan, and then the Cunard Steam Company is owned, I don't know by who, but anyway, it's just a rival company at that time, okay? This is before the Titanic took off, all right? To compete with the Lunastania and its mate, the Mauretania, the White Star Line entered into a giant ship war. The company was no stranger to such battles, but Cunard's Lunastania and Mauretania had outgunned White Star's so-called Big Four ships in terms of top speed. So this time around, the company wanted some extra backing. Okay, so this was a whole speed thing, a dick pissing contest. Who got the biggest ships? Like, who got the most money? Like, it was just rich men fucking playing games and doing shit for fun, really not caring about passengers' safety or none of that shit. This was a dick pissing contest from the beginning. So the extra backing that the company got, the White Star Company got, was J.P. Morgan, okay? With J.P. Morgan's permission, White Star Chairman J. Bruce Ismay, who the video just mentioned, now he also was on the Titanic, y'all, and survived by design, okay? So J.P. Morgan right-hand man, Bruce Ismay, began work what came to be as these Olympic-class ships, okay? We talking about the Olympic, the Britannic, and the Titanic, okay? So if they couldn't match the competitor in speed, they was going to outclass them, okay? Make it luxury, make it bigger, okay? This is where the fucking greed begins. This is where the fucking greed begins. This is where the greed begins. So guys, look at this. So the second ship right here, the Olympic, look real closely. Look real closely. Do you see damage right here in the ship? It's damage right here in the ship. Now, it was a rumor that the Olympic basically was the Titanic. What do I mean by that? So the Olympic was in some type of accident with like a Navy ship. And this is how this damage happened right here that you see on the boat. They were saying that basically this was like some type of like economic loss. So the company, instead of fixing the boat, wanted to go ahead and just switch it out and make it the Titanic, because at this time, this is when a plan is being hatched about the Federal Reserve Bank. This is when we're starting to see who is on the side of the Jesuits and the Rothschilds and who aren't with the rich men at the time. Okay. So let's ask with the tarot cards, is the Olympic ship really the Titanic ship? Okay. Let me ask. Take this off the screen. Let me say my prayer first. God protects my energy, put a fiery wall of protection around me, my home, my family, and fancy. Allow me to see and hear the messages clearly. Take my bias out of the reading. Angels, ancestors, I appreciate your love, guidance, wisdom, and protection. Also put a fiery wall of protection around all my key says, both new and old, and send them love and life to the highest good. Amen. All right, let's get into it. So was the Olympic ship really the Titanic? Let's ask. Was the Olympic really the Titanic? Period. 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 Just like I fucking thought. Just like I fucking thought. Next slide. So the damage with what you see on the Olympic matches up what experts have found on the sunken Titanic, okay? It says the luxury liner RMS Titanic, which the history books say sank in 1912 after a collision with an iceberg, tore a 300-foot gash in its side. Remember that. 300-foot gash in its side. Showed no such gash to explorers who recently completed 11 days of diving in a small submarine to examine the rusty wreck. Okay? 11 days of diving down there. And I mean, it should be obvious to see a 300-foot gash in the side of this boat that's mostly intact. So there's lies here. We saw absolutely no evidence of a gash, expedition leader Robert D. Ballard of the Woods Hole Oceanographic Institution said yesterday at a news conference. Period. So these are reputable people stating that there was no gash. No gash. No gash. More lies. More lies. No 300-foot gash. So instead, we're going to cut to another clip where we're going to start piecing together how Nargeolet and the Ocean Gate and everything is connected, okay? So Nargeolet was the French explorer that had been down to the Titanic more than 40-something times. So this man is a super expert on the Titanic, the wreckage, where things are. He's a super expert, like a mega expert on the Titanic. You couldn't get nothing over on this man about the Titanic. He knew everything. So let's watch a quick video, and he's also going to tell you that he saw no gash. No 300-foot gash.
And the fact that the bow's intact means that they can also examine the most iconic mystery of the Titanic, the iceberg impact. The official 1912 accident report seems to suggest the iceberg tore a gigantic 300-foot gash in the ship's right-hand side, ripping open more than a third of her entire hull. However, eyewitness records prove the Titanic took around 2.5 hours to sink. Investigators are puzzled. A 300-foot hole would surely have sunk the Titanic in a matter of minutes. Oceanic explorer P.H. Nargeolet has made 30 trips, 12,000 feet down to the Titanic. But he's never seen a 300-foot gash.
We were trying to find where the Titanic hit the iceberg, why it was like that, why we saw some crack, why there is a crack here and not here.
Nargeolet and the team now turn to the ultra-high-resolution photo mosaics of the wreckage to see what evidence there might be. This profile view of the bow is stitched together from over 3,000 individual images.
The profile mosaics show Titanic in a way that people hadn't seen it before. No one had done a profile view of Titanic.
So did you hear that? The same dude that's on Nat Geo in a Titanic expose, not expose, but a documentary. It kind of was an expose-ish. It's the same dude that we can no longer find that was on this Ocean Gate little sub, guys. Come the fuck on. Come the fuck on if you don't see the connection already. Like, I'm still painting the picture, but you gotta see the connection right there. That's a fucking body blow. So he wasn't just going down there to just be fucking peeking, you know what I'm saying, without speaking. He going out to figure out what really happened to the Titanic. Him and Ocean Gate were leading the way to figure out what the fuck really happened to the Titanic. Who made it happen? Because the land motherfuckers up here is lying about this iceberg and shit like that. Because meanwhile, what we seeing down below is not matching what they seeing on land. And they was compiling all of this shit. And now we can't find their ass.
Images, they find no sign of anything approaching a 300-foot tear on the hull. However, when they turn to the video footage, investigators can see much smaller areas of impact damage.
The actual iceberg damage appears to be confined to maybe a 30-foot length of the bow. It wasn't like a gash, and it wasn't tens of small gashes.
The size of these gaps in the hull adds up to just 11 square feet. A breach this size would allow 370 gallons of seawater to gush in every second.
$300-foot gash, more like a 30-foot. So these motherfuckers think grossly lied. What? How we get from 30 feet to 300 feet? Guys, this was a cover-up. This was a mass murder. This is fucking sick. This was a mass murder of 1,500 people over starting this fucking Federal Reserve Bank and starting the fucking oppression of us today. Y'all are y'all getting the gravity of this? And this is what Nargile and Ocean Gate was really working on to prove what really happened to the fucking Titanic. This is why their ass is gone. Period. Period. What slide is this? Let me see. We already did that slide. So, guys, also, they were saying that there was a fire on board. There was a fire on board. It says, was there a fire the real reason the Titanic went down? A documentary claims that a boiler room blaze had been raging since the liner set sail from Southampton. So, guys, I already told you that when they already concocted the plan to switch the boats, that's when the plan was put in place. That's when the plan was put in place. Nargile knew this boat better than anybody, y'all. He knew the boat better than anybody. He was about to uncover what really happened. Let's stop and ask with the cards. He was about to really find out what happened, I believe. Let me run it through the cards. Angel's ancestors was Nargile and Ocean Gate about to uncover what really happened to the Titanic. Y'all, listen here. Fucking body blow. Body blow. What? Like, I fucking knew. I didn't even run it through the cards until I didn't even want to do it fucking off camera until I did it live. I'm like, no, I want to wait till it's live. That's why the title is there a link? Because I'm not certain. But now I knew, but now I know. I know. Ocean Gate and Nargile was out to prove what really happened to the Titanic. The Rothschilds was not going to let that happen. They made their ass disappear. Period. We really could end the lie here, but let's just keep unfolding how all this shit makes sense, okay? Listen. They was using faulty ass bolts on the Titanic, okay? To patch up that little dent that you see on the Olympic, aka the Titanic. Let me read this out to you and tell you what they say. It says Spokey performed a metallurgical and mechanical analysis on steel and rivet samples recovered from the Titanic debris field at the bottom of the ocean. His examinations determined that the raw iron and the rivets contain 3 times today's allowable amount of slag. Okay, what the fuck is slag? Slag is a glassy residue left behind after the smelting of iron ore. The slag made the rivets less ductile and more brittle than they should have been when exposed to very cold temperatures like those typically found in the icy seawater of the North Atlantic. This finding strongly suggested that the Titanic's collision with the iceberg caused the rivet heads to break off, pop the fasteners from their holes, and allow water to rush in between the separated hull plates. Period. So they used iron instead of steel rivets. I already knew this before, but this was just systematically another step to why they was making this ship a death ship from the get-go. It was a death ship from the fucking get-go. Crazy. It's fucked up. All them people died for no reason. For no fucking reason. So I'm combining all of this with the fire, the bad bolts on the patched up damage in the hull. Here we go. When it first happened, it's a whole article right here talking about somebody that worked in the boiler room, that there was a fire going on the whole fucking time. Stop and read this yourself. I'm going to read a couple of them, but it's kind of hard to read it when it's not on my phone. It says, every stoker who was interviewed declared that the Titanic was a fire from the time she left the Southampton until Saturday afternoon at 2 o'clock. This story was first told by an officer of the ship who requested that his name be withheld, saying that all the men had been warned not to talk about the disaster. They do that shit to this day, telling people not to talk. Crazy. It says the fire was in the coal bunkers forward. And what does that say? Shit, I don't know. Added this man. The stokehole number 9 and 10 on the forward end in what is known as the second and third sections. The fire must have been raging long before they pulled out of the pier in Southampton, for the bunker was a raging hell. When 1 hour out past the Needles, the fire was discovered. Immediately, we began to work on the fire, and it took us until Saturday afternoon to extinguish it. We were compelled to dig out all the coal from these sections. In my opinion, this fire played a big part. They said no small part in the disaster, but basically a big part. For when the bow was stove in, the waters readily tore open the watertight bulkheads behind which had this coal been. If the coal had been still in the second and third sections when the vessel struck the iceberg, it would have probably helped the bulkhead stay. So what did this article just simply say? That somebody that worked down there on the ship, because this article was taken from the papers like a little bit after the Titanic went down. Okay, so this somebody that was interviewed, that worked in the boiler room, said that there was a fire blaze before they even left the damn dock, and how they tried to put it out, and how that fire weakened exactly where that damage was already on the ship, because the ship is really the Olympic. The ship already had damage that they shoddy patched up with those weak ass rivets. Then there was magically a fire started on a coal fire. Is like, it's hella hard to put a coal fire out. Just think about when you barbecuing and coals and shit like that. When coals is hot, they hot. But think about tons and tons of fucking coals on fire at one time. How the fuck do you put that out? So they said they was feeding the coals to the engine, and that's also what was added to make the engine and make the engine go faster and make the boat go faster, more than it really needed to be. This was all planned, guys. It was all fucking planned. It was all fucking planned. That's what I do know. This was all fucking planned. All fucking plans. What are we talking about right here on this slide? Okay, so this is another This is another insert from an article that says Maloney's documentary is compelling and the arguments logical. The hidden fire caused damage to the bulkhead. The increased speed was due to excess burning of coals to fight the fire. The bulkhead's failure was due to the incredible heat generated by the coal fire, which was right against it. So it was weakening the integrity of the repair that you seen earlier in the ship that was known as the Atlantic, but now they're calling it the Titanic. And this is what really bags it up. Because look at this, guys. This is like a rendering of what the Titanic kind of looks like now. But mind you, there's way more space in between the two pieces of it. But they're just trying to put it together. And all you see is the damage right here in the middle, which was, boom, where the boiler room was. Right here in the red. Everything in the red is the engine and boilers. And that's everything that you see is just somehow missing, but everything else is right there. They trying to say it cracked apart, and I'm not to say it didn't crack apart, but it was weakened on purpose right there to sink it. That's the purpose of this. That's the fucking purpose. That's the purpose. So back to Nargile and Ocean Gate was setting out to prove what really happened to the Titanic, and therefore was silenced and quieted by the Rothschilds because they were finding out and proving without a shadow of a doubt everything and more than what I'm saying, and was about to present it to the world that this was a fucking mass murder. This was just no boat that hit a damn iceberg. This was a mass murder. Crazy as fuck. Crazy as fuck. This was a whole ass mass murder. Like, this is some wild ass shit. This is the fucking world we live in. This is who controls the shit that we do now. The same motherfuckers that set up 1,500 people to die in the middle of the fucking night so they can start the Federal Reserve. You can't tell me no different. You can't tell me no fucking different. So, because remember back yesterday when we was doing a reading, secrets and shit kept coming out. And I'm like, secrets and kidnapping and all of this shit. Like, where is all this coming from? Like, where was all this coming from? So this was the extortion. This was the blackmail so they could shut the fuck up. So Ocean Gate, Stockton, and Nargile could shut the fuck up. Because if you look at the coverage of Ocean Gate right now, they turn this company apart. They turn this company apart. When in actuality, this company was reputable. Go on their little Titanic YouTube page, Ocean Gate Titanic Explorations. Guys, this company was very reputable. I know I talked shit about their ass yesterday. I was falling victim to the shit of just watching the damn coverage. But when I did my own research, Ocean Gate was a reputable company. Yes, it could have been, they could have used more expensive gadgets and gadgets, but it had been getting the job done. It was going up and it was going down. It was doing its job. It was doing its job. But if it's supposed to be a somber moment, why is people now, everybody is attacking Ocean Gate? So it's like, do you see how the media is trying to make us feel, orchestrate how we should feel, orchestrate you to fall for the okie doke? And what really is happening here, the Ocean Gate and Nargile was about to expose what really happened to the Titanic. And that's why the little sub is fucking missing. And that's why the little, man, y'all, this is crazy. This is crazy. This is why. This is exactly fucking why. Let me see what y'all talking about in the comments. So how y'all feel about this? How y'all feel about this? You said uptone. You said what? You said just like when the U.S. was trying to outdo Russia getting to the moon first. Right, the space thing. And Sputnik and all of that shit. Fast production without thoroughly checking equipment spells disaster. When in actuality, they never fucking went to the moon anyway. But, you know, okay. But this is definitely the same thing. Or the time with the airships. Countries is just trying to make the biggest, best one as fast as they could to compete for bragging rights. And countries are ran by who? Men. Okay, period. This is not just down and on men, but I'm just saying these particular types of men. This is a rich man pissing war. This all this was. This is where it started at. And that's where everything is happening now. This all stemming from that. Y'all, this is the craziest shit. It's the craziest shit. So fucks up. Like, this would not let me rest last night. I'm like, damn, I'm sleepy. Like, I just want to lay the fuck down. Like, no, something was like, no, do more research. Keep going. Keep going. I'm just like, okay. Guys, because this is the real truth. Boom. It's all spelled out. I spelled it all out for you. That's why this little sub is missing. That's why it's all over our news broadcast. That's why we can't turn our head without somebody talking about this fucking little sub. That's why they dogging the fuck out of this company. Everywhere you turn, every coverage is dogging the fuck out of Ocean Gate. This is why. Because Ocean Gate was going to expose the Rothschilds for who they truly were. Fucking mass murderers. These motherfuckers are serial killers. Serial killers. It's no bigger serial killers than the Rothschilds. None. They didn't act alone. It was plenty of people on board with this decision to kill an innocent 1,500 people. Also, J.P. Morgan and his crew, the Rothschilds and all of them, could just get rid of people that was in the way to start the Federal Reserve, to oppress us. We went from, what was it called? We went from just not a citizen, but we went to, like, I forgot what you would call it, but we went from that into a citizen. A citizen is part of a corporation. We numbers on stock sheets and we stock and shit. Social Security numbers and IRS and all of this shit that oppresses the fuck out of us. This was the beginning of that. That's why the Titanic is so fascinating. That's why the Titanic is so important. And that's why the research that Ocean Gate was doing was so important. They was about to fucking blow the lid off of this shit. Period. Period. This shit is one big joke to their ass. What the fuck? Oh. So do y'all get it now? Is it all clear? Does it make sense to y'all now? Does it make sense why they're talking about the little sub and talking about dogging the fuck out of Ocean Gate about it being on the PS2 controller, and everybody's falling for this shit? It has to always be a scapegoat. Like, playbook number 1 was the Titanic. That's playbook number 1. It went by the playbook of everything that they do today. They set this shit up. Let it happen. Then it's like the coverage is somebody has to be the scapegoat. So it's like they controlling the scene, the setup, and the cover up and the coverage. What? And they just kept repeating the same Omaha play over and 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 over again. Because it worked. People fell for it. Everybody was like, oh, it was an iceberg. 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 Oh, this shit crazy. It's fucked up. It's fucked up that all them innocent men, women, and children died behind this shit for no fucking reason. It's fucked up. It's fucked up. Desi Thompson, I'm thinking they just saw some mermaids and some wild shit. Nope. Me too, because yesterday my brain was spinning. Like, if you was looking at my live yesterday, my brain was fucking spinning, bro. I was like, I'm missing something. Like, I'm missing something. That's why I was like, let me end this. Because I was just like, I don't have the full story here. I'm not seeing the full picture. Because, like, it wasn't adding up. And then I had to go back and do, and they was just like, I was going through research and this and that. Like, guys, I went through so much shit to find these videos and these slides. Like, so y'all could see how they really be playing us. They be playing on our fucking top, right in our face for our emotions for this shit. When really this shit is a cover up. These people are now a fucking enemy. Now everybody on board, they stupid. They discredited. Narjale is discredited because why would you get on this rinky dink ass little tut down to the like y'all. They doing this all on purpose. So that even if Norgile had a fail safe, like a dead man's fail safe, and like his information that he compiled, them and Ocean Gate still came out, it would be discredited. It would fall on deaf ears because they're already doing their cover up thing right here. They want to step through. Everybody like, what the fuck? Why would I listen to this man? Why would I listen to this man? Like, man. In a way, it's brilliant, but it's like it's fucked up that like people in general just fall for the okie doke. I hate it. You're welcome. You hear me? The cup, they do this same play over and over again, guys. Like, we need to wake the fuck up. Like, they do this shit all the fucking time. Like, that's why, listen, that's why legit what I be saying, y'all, I mean, seek the truth, vibrate higher, and carpe diem. I mean every word I fucking say. Like, if you're not seeking the truth and you just falling for that shit, boy, I don't know what to tell your ass. I don't know what to tell your ass. Because, like, yeah, in the small scheme of things, should we care about what this little sub, is it going to affect our day-to-day? Not necessarily. But it's showing you who controls our surroundings. They control our surroundings. They control what you eat, what you think, what you watch, what you see, what you feel, what you breathe, how you do it, when you do it. They control it all, guys. You have to understand that. It's deeper than just this little sub in the Titanic. They were willing to kill 1,500 people for no reason in front of everybody's very fucking eyes. This was just the beginning. And laugh about this shit. You think they give a fuck about your ass? No. 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 They don't care about who is. So it's like people like, well, why would they? It could just be these innocent people. This couldn't just be these like the people that work with them didn't do nothing but get bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. So the shit it got more elaborate and more elaborate and more elaborate. Cover-ups got more elaborate and more elaborate. Y'all, come on, understand it. Like, really understand what I'm saying. You heard me. The name alone, Ocean Gate. Ocean Gate. Stockton was more than just some little rinky-dink white man in a little sub with a game controller. He was more than that. He was way more than that. He was way more than that. And they plan on our top for anybody that believed that this man was on some bullshit. He was not. This was an elaborate situation. This was millions and millions of fucking dollars. He was not just playing around with people's fucking lives. That's not what was happening. Okay, that's why they never was even on the fucking little sub. They took them. The Rothschilds took them, not personally, but they had a crew of some stand by, some snatch and grabs. Men took these people off this. They never made it to the sub. These people was taken, and anybody else that don't want to play along, their ass was threatened. The people at Ocean Gate know the fucking truth. Their ass was threatened. Then people was gonna go by that same song and dance. We will delete your whole life with one motherfucking button. The Rothschilds can delete your whole life with one motherfucking button. So either you gonna go with it, or you gonna wake up tomorrow and everything and everybody that you know and love will be gone. They can do it. So this shit crazy. This is the penalty for speaking the truth in our today's time. You get silenced, you get killed, and defamed. It's fucked up. This is the world we live in. This is the world we live in. This is the world we fucking live in. Damn. When you piece this shit together, you just like, this shit is cold as fuck. They started that fire, weakened the boat from the get-go. The boat wasn't even a Titanic from the get-go. They put it was a rickety-ass boat that had already been into an accident. Repaired it sloppily with iron rivets instead of steel rivets that everybody was using back then any fucking way. The captain is in on the fucking plan. The boat is speeding unnecessarily due to the coal fire. The captain knew exactly what to do, goddamn me, to hit it exactly where he needed to hit it at. Boom. Wasn't no 300-foot gash. It was a 30-foot gash in an already weakened spot. That's why it took 2.5 hours for the boat to sink any fucking way. And they purposely, the people that was manning those boats was with them too. They purposely put in not the full capacity of people on the boat, and the rule of women and children first, because who did they want to die? Those rich ass men. Yeah, this was all planned. It was all planned. It was all planned. It was all planned. It was all planned. For these primary 3 men to die, let me show you. For these primary 3 men to die. They did this all for these primary 3 men to die right here. Guggenheim, Strauss, and Isidore. I forgot his last name right now. They was all magnates at their time, meaning like they had industries that was fucking booming, okay? Booming. They was shaking and moving. Like these was rich men. They couldn't be bought. This was the birth of men to be bought. So that's how they do everything now. It's either you with them or you against them. And if you against them, then you dead. They control entertainment, music, sports. Y'all, it's everything is tainted. The bleed started right there. Now everything is tainted. There's not a safe place or industry that doesn't have their reach and their control. Understand it. Understand it. Understand that. These motherfucking Rothschilds are serial killers. They will stop at nothing to kill whomever, hurt whomever, remove whomever, whatever, delete whomever they need to for their plan. That's one enemy you don't want to have is them motherfuckers, boy. That shit crazy. I feel like I said everything I needed to say, though. I said everything I needed to say. That's what happened to the little sub. I was like, I had to crack the case. Well, I was like, no, I can't walk away from this without no resolution. Something is nagging at me. Something's pulling at me. I had to figure it out. I had to. But yeah, I'm gonna get up out of here, y'all. Tell me what y'all think about this live. Did y'all enjoy this true crime? Did you learn something new? Did you learn something new? I'm supposed to be on bed rest. The fuck, I ain't even supposed to be doing no goddamn lives. I'm supposed to be in the fucking bed. I'm supposed to be in the bed, but I had to get this out. Like, I had to. Like, energetically, I'm tired as fuck. I don't even got no makeup on. I got the cowboy hat. Like, I'm tired as fuck. But I'm like, no, I gotta let people know what the fuck is going on. I can't be letting my people get rocked to sleep. Hell no. Not on my watch. So, yeah, did y'all enjoy the live? Did y'all learn something new? Did you learn something new? Period, y'all. Thank y'all for watching the live. I appreciate it. Ooh, if you enjoyed the live, send your girl a little something to the Cash App. You hear me? I would greatly appreciate it. Remember, my channel is not monetized. Ain't no ads over here because your girl not monetized. So if you enjoyed my live, I would greatly appreciate a little donation to the Cash App. It's right there in the comment section. Also, I'm going to put my stand store if you want to support me about my hair crystals. I'm going to put that down in the description box. And the different videos that I had, I'll put that in the description box if you want to watch those in its entirety as well. What else? I think that's it, guys. Yeah, definitely if you want a personal reading, the description will be in, the link will be in the description below for my stand store for you to book a reading and also buy my crystal hairpins. What else? Make sure you check out Patreon and the new tiers, okay? We have 3 tiers, 11.11, 12.12, and 33.33. It all makes sense, okay? Go over and sip and save. This should have been a Patreon, really. But I was like, well, I'm going to let my YouTube people, you know what I'm saying, check this out because really, I can't let y'all get rocked to sleep. I can't let y'all get rocked to sleep, period. What else? That's about it, guys. I greatly appreciate it. Thank you for watching all the way to the end. And guys, like I always say, seek the truth, vibrate higher, and carpe diem. Until the next time, bitch. I'm out. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba-ba. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba-ba. the more I'm gonna do some reading specials. You know what I'm saying? First person pull up gonna get a free reading. And make sure again, show your girl some love to the Cash App. All right, period. All right, if you appreciate me and my hard work, guys, and how I stepped it up. Okay, I just stepped it up. It's gonna get better and better. Like, okay, if you appreciate it, see your girl list some to the Cash App. I would greatly appreciate it. Thank you in advance. All right. Period. Peace out, guys. Have a good night. Have a good weekend. Catch me tomorrow for a reading. Don't meet me there. Beat me there.